The 2K Sports pregame show.
Hey folks, I'm here with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. I'm Ernie Johnson. Welcome to the NBA on 2K Sports. In this game, we'll see Toronto against...
It's home to the Alamo, and we've got tremendously competitive with great attention to detail, David. Thanks. Looking at the midseason numbers for international viewership, Doris, the league is really making an impression around the world.
I know soccer is maybe the biggest sport worldwide, but what has struck me over the last 5 to 10 years is how global a game basketball has become, and the fact that it's one of the fastest growing sports in the entire world. And make no mistake, to me, it's the league that has brought this ability to bring people together with incredible stars who fans can relate to. The one guy that comes to mind, obviously, Steph Curry.
Well said. The vision of the league, to me, is just incredible and unequal. Let's check out Toronto's starting lineup. Jimmy Butler is out there with Aaron Gordon. Then it's Chris Paul. Then there's Plumlee. And it's Musa in at the shooting guard position. Now here's Butler. And they get some nice contributions from him on a nightly basis as he averages over 11 points a game. Williams passes to Embiid, and Embiid throws it down.
Now flying high and throwing it down with the one-hander.
One of his favorite moves right there, guys. All against T. Paul kicks to Plumlee. The pass to Butler. Outside Gordon. Clock at 4. Fires from the wing. And too long on the shot. San Antonio with the ball. Pass to Teague. Got it. Good job in the low post. Teague's got his first bucket of the night.
Well, Kevin, how about the remarkable handle that Jeff Teague has? He simply coasts right through the defense with his ability to use the bounce.
Now here's Paul. 11 points last game.
Boy, nice feed. Leading him into some space. A nice catch on the run, too. Wow.
The Spurs have gotten their first 3 shots to go in for him to start off this game. Williams finds Embiid. Porzingis feeling it out a bit. Pass to Iguodala. Over Gordon. Here's Embiid, and the dunk by Embiid.
Defensive rebounding, just such a crucial part of the game.
I'll tell you, if you don't box out well, expect to get burned. You can't afford to give them second chance opportunities.
Now here's Paul. Looking at his point production, he averages almost 8 points a game. And it's Gordon missing. For Toronto, they come in off the loss to the Nets in Brooklyn.
Well, sometimes it just takes an opportunity in the NBA, and Aaron Gordon has made the most of it. Since taking over that power forward role full-time, he has shown remarkable improvement. Plays with more confidence and aggression on offense and has transformed himself as a player.
Here is Paul, following the score by Lou Williams. Musa passes to Paul. Unloads from 13, and good as it just snugs right down through the net.
That's a perfect mid-range jumper. All he needs is an inch of space, and they gave it to him.
Here's Embiid, uses the glass to finish the layup. Embiid's got 8.
And their offense already in a flow. Some stellar shooting to jump out to this lead.
To the inside, and it's Butler missing. And so it's Williams who brings it up for San Antonio.
Yeah, unfortunately for them, I thought the opponent's defense just never showed up.
I mean, you'd have to question their effort, Greg. They did a great job at penetrating and kicking out. The defense simply wasn't up to the task.
Heating up early on. This is exactly how he wanted to start the night.
You're right. I mean, he's found his rhythm early. The defense has got to do a better job guarding him from this point on.
Here's Musa. And that one released in time, but no good. A big-time effort for Joel Embiid, providing a lot of energy for San Antonio. He notched 8 points in the quarter and has that terrific basketball instinct on display. We'll get right back to the action when we return. Marquee matchup tonight. Jimmy Butler says he loves.
I'm one that if you're the best.
That's the hard-working mentality Butler provides. A two-way threat, Greg, who wants to dominate the top players at his position.
And Butler's really embraced being a leader. You can tell he lives for these types of matchups and games.
We welcome you back to Noche Latina. Becoming an annual tradition is always here on 2K Sports and always exciting. And looking at what we've seen from the Spurs so far, guys, what do you think?
I mean, so far that they're not settling for outside shots, really attacking the paint.
I think that's what you've got to do, right? If the looks on the interior are there, you have got to attack.
So on the floor for Toronto to start this second quarter. Plumlee out there with Gordon. Then there's Jimmy Butler. Then it's Chris Paul. And it's Musa in at the shooting guard. Here's T. Following the basket by Mason Plumlee. Back to Teague. And taken away by Paul. Quarter number 2. We're about a minute in. Takes the three. That one's rebounded by Embiid. Embiid's got his 4th rebound with that last one here tonight. A nice shot by Teague.
Yeah, that's 2 bombs in a row from long range.
So timeout called here, the first for Toronto. There are sure some of the players you watch that get stronger as the game goes on. They're not cut down by fatigue and still have that energy, something left in the tank.
Those guys who show me superhuman strength a la Kevin Harlan. Those guys who come to mind, LeBron James, that's a bad man. It doesn't matter if it's the 1st minute or the 48th minute. Russell Westbrook is indefatigable. His stamina and his ability to dominate in triple overtime once is absolutely incredible. And then what did we see from Anthony Davis when Boogie Cousins went down? A man who for 48 minutes on both ends is a problem. Those 3 men, Kev.
Endless energy. Now here's Porzingis. 11 points for him in that last game against.
Boy, the defense gets into his head and alters his release when he really doesn't have to.
And here in the second, 2 minutes gone by. Here's Gordon. 11 feet out, and he hits it.
Well, the rise and fire from Aaron Gordon in the mid-range, it's almost unguardable at this point.
On the wing, Williams. The shot is good, and so is his shooting tonight. 3 for 4.
And they've done well at taking advantage of some late defensive rotations and getting the ball in the paint.
All against T. Here's Musa. Shot clock at 5. Ring shot on the way. And again, it's Toronto converting.
Yeah, they've raised their shooting percentage in this quarter, and they're starting to get on track.
T kicks to Porzingis. About 3 minutes played so far in the second quarter. He gets that one. 7 points for Teague.
I'll tell you, how about a high percentage opportunity from Jeff Teague? As a scorer, you love to get those easy ones.
Here's Paul. Tries again. It's good, and the San Antonio lead is cut down to just 6 points with the basket from Plumlee.
And of the last 6 baskets, 5 have come on the interior. This is just smash-mouth physical basketball, guys.
Embiid, no good.
Oh, a lapse defensively, and they actually get away with it. Bad idea to leave him open consistently, though.
Williams with the defensive effort. 1 second separating the shot clock and game clock. Down low, the kick out to T. Knocks it loose. Nine seconds left in the first half. He got it up, and that would have counted, but his shot was off the ball. Thanks, David. And we'll be back shortly following halftime to get the third quarter underway.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
It was Joel Embiid who got hot in the first. He had 8 points and 5 rebounds. Kenny, what was your take on San Antonio?
Well, I think to shoot a high percentage, your offense has to be in sync. And in the first half, those guys were sharing the basketball, playing for each other.
And that does it for our...
And we're halfway through this one. Plenty of basketball left in a game that's been fairly even so far. Joel Embiid with a strong contribution in this one.
Oh, well, they've done a good job of letting the game come to them, and really few forced shots here so far.
I think, Greg, we're seeing a couple things. Terrific play calling, unselfish nature, and quality shooting. That makes for good offense.
Porzingis is out there with Iguodala. And there's Embiid. Then it's Williams. And it's Teague in at the 1. So that's who Greg Popovich starts the second half with. Pass to Butler. Fouled in the act of shooting. Gets the bucket anyway, so a three-point play chance for him.
This, to me, is how Butler hurts you. The athleticism, the strength, the body control, draws the whistle, still finishes the play.
And Jimmy Butler, something of a quirky character, has a ritual whenever he's at a grocery store of paying the person's bill behind it. Doesn't care if it's 99 cents or 2,000.
Now here's Williams. 7 points in the game.
Oh, he'd like to have that one back. He almost never get that wide open a look.
That one drops for him. Butler's got 5 points in the quarter.
Well, we've seen that movie a few times, haven't we? An easy bucket in the paint.
And Butler never afraid to be a little bit different, listening to country music in the locker room, much to his teammates' chagrin.
And in the offseason, riding around in a van with a baby on board sticker, even though he's single with no kids. Remove the rearview mirror as a symbolic reminder to never look back. This guy's special.
I'll tell you, he hasn't been able to find the mark all night. It's a big reason they're staring at this deficit.
Teague finds Embiid. Lays it up off the glass. Embiid's got 10 points in the game.
And that's how you want to come out of the locker room. He is fired up.
Absolutely perfect start to the half, setting the tempo right away with an easy opportunity at the cup.
Now here's Paul. Toronto working the ball around now. A three-pointer, no good. Spurs leading by 5. Inside, Teague. That drops, and it comes off an assist from Williams. Williams has got his 5th assist in this one. Teague against Paul. To the middle. Oh, and they get in the way of the alley-oop. Not to be. Good play defensively. Left side, Williams. An even 3-on-3 break. And foul on the shot. He'll shoot 2 at the free throw line. For Toronto, they have gone 1 for 1, making their previous attempt at the line. First one falls for him. The doors at times out there, things get a little heated. Some people feel like the whistle's being blown too quickly on some of these technical fouls. What do you think?
I would actually completely disagree, Kevin. I think there are certain players who are given far too much latitude and others for whom the whistle does come too quickly. So I think it would be better and more helpful to the officials, the teams, and also the fans to understand what is and what does cross a line. Because to me, there's no consistency, there's a lot of confusion, and I think it works both ways. Sometimes too long of a leash, sometimes too short.
Excellent appraisal. And Toronto has possession after the miss from Joel Embiid. Kicks to Paul. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Over Teague. And again, Toronto no luck.
And being that close to the hoop, I thought he had enough room to finish that one.
An obvious blunder by the defense that they get away with. Somebody's supposed to be checking him.
Yep, that one goes in there. And it's 8 points for Mason Plumlee.
Important points there. Got him on a nice play, getting the ball inside and right to the bucket.
Williams passes to Porzingis. Plumlee with the rebound. Toronto trails by 3. Butler on the way. To the paint. Here's Musa. He's guarded by Williams. Outside Butler. That shot no good. And now here comes Iguodala leading the break. He kicks it to Embiid. And it's off target. Not sure why he took that one. It's still anybody's game as we've reached the end of 3. It's San Antonio up by 3. And don't go away. We'll be back momentarily. And while we can now, let's take a look at today's State Farm assist of the game.
Just true artistry right there. I mean, great decision on where to go with the ball, and how about the perfect delivery?
We call that, Greg, putting it right in the pocket, and he knew what to do with it once it was there.
And with these teams locked in a very close contest, this fourth quarter promises to be a good one. So for Toronto right now, they've got Plumlee. Jimmy Butler is out there with Gordon, and it's Chris Paul. And it's Musa in at the 2 spot. Gordon with no one around, and it's all evened up. Gordon's got the fourth quarter started here with a bucket for Toronto.
I love that Aaron Gordon goes right up with it. He's got really good instincts for knowing when to catch and shoot.
Here's Porzingis, and there's the whistle on the shot. Took the foul, shot misses. He'll be shooting 2. And the foul goes against Toronto. The thing about Porzingis, interesting guy beyond just basketball.
No doubt, Kev. I mean, here's a man who speaks 3 languages. He had a Carmelo Anthony jersey as a kid. He had a couple of Latvian rap songs written about him, and the guy's just getting started. You know, he's working on his inside game, but clearly there's still a little more work to do.
Knocked loose. Embiid dishes to T. And out of bounds as Toronto gains possession. Just over a minute played here in the fourth. Toronto calls timeout. And during this timeout, I'm sure they'll be hydrating themselves with Gatorade. All the effort out there on the floor, and these timeouts can be such a huge factor in getting a short rest and recharging the battery. Now let's go to the sideline and catch up with our Hall of Famer, David Aldridge.
Thanks, Kevin. Well, Toronto's head coach had some words for his team during the break. He told them, don't look at the scoreboard. It's 0-0. One play at a time. Execute the game plan. That's how we're going to win this game. Kevin, he's trying to keep them focused.
They're scoring boatloads of buckets. It's raining buckets from inside.
Now the pass to Porzingis. And that's going to be too many steps. Gets the whistle on the travel.
You know, you've got to be composed mentally right now at this time of the game. It's really careless play right there.
Toronto, they've gone 2 for 5 on field goal attempts in the fourth quarter. To the paint. Kicks it out to Paul. Over Teague. Paul can't get it to go.
Sometimes you just have an off day, and this is one of those games for him.
Game moves along. 2 minutes gone here in the fourth. Pass to Musa. Back to Paul. To the paint. He's looking for Plumlee and finds him. Throws down the alley-oop slam.
The vision, the timelessness of Chris Paul's game for many years. He's made everyone around him better.
Embiid against Plumlee from the baseline. Embiid, no good. Toronto, they've gone 3 of 7 from the floor in the fourth. That's a 42% mark in the quarter. Musa passes to Paul. Toronto working the ball around now. Pass to Butler. Over Iguodala. Butler, no good. And it's Williams with the ball for San Antonio, trailing by 2. On the wing, Iguodala. Here's Teague. That falls. Nice feed that time from Andre Iguodala. And 11 points for Jeff Teague.
I'll tell you, Teague is fearless with big shots. He's someone you can count on in tough situations.
Ball against Teague. Paul kicks to Gordon. Porzingis with the steal. Williams against Butler. Out to Porzingis. Here's Williams. And that won't go, missing the go-ahead bucket. Here's Toronto. Here in the fourth, they've allowed just 4 points. Butler feeling it out a bit. Here's Musa. He's guarded by Williams. Lets it go from the wing. It's good!
No doubt. You love seeing him knock down the clutch basket.
Time called here. The Spurs decide to talk it over. They're trailing by 2. There's 14 seconds left to play in the final quarter. And now we get the chance to present our Jordan Player of the Game, Mason Plumlee.
And in terms of his shooting, this has been one of the more accurate performances you'll ever see. I mean, he's been in constant motion, creating a lot of good looks for himself. But still, even when you're wide open, you expect to miss some of the time. That has not been the case here tonight. This guy has made everything.
Embiid. Oh, wow, a huge basket to tie the game.
Well, a point guard must understand window of opportunity, and Jeff Teague specializes in exactly that.
Toronto calls timeout. The score is tied at 34. 1 second left in the fourth quarter. Ball from deep three-point land. Oh, it's no good. And we're headed to overtime. And that's going to do it for regulation. So we are headed to overtime. Live from the AT&T Center in San Antonio, you're watching 2K Sports. These teams have battled tooth and nail for 4 quarters, and now we head to overtime. Should be a blast.
Boys, nice line.
And it's going to be the Spurs off the tip. And away we go here with post-regulation basketball. Courtesy of Gatorade. All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineup for us now in overtime. On the court for San Antonio. Porzingis is out there with Joel Embiid. Then it's Williams. And there's Iguodala. And it's Teague in the point. Teague against Paul. Second chance effort, and he's fouled pretty hard on that shot, but he's got the chance to pick up the points at the line.
And no doubt, Paul is still a top-tier point guard, a determined defender, and, of course, a remarkable distributor. Tremendous job at the line, as usual. You can always bank on him in those situations.
Teague kicks to Embiid. To the inside, and the dunk by Porzingis.
Wow, Porzingis, no hesitation in the balance of the game. He delivers.
Right wing. He lobs up the alley-oop pass. Embiid with the steal. The feed to Iguodala. Embiid trying to break loose. Shot's good by Iguodala.
Oh, the experience of Andre Iguodala, cool under pressure.
To the wing right side. Lets a floater go. Musa can't hit.
Boy, a kickout's probably a better option when the defense is swarming around like that.
Teague against Paul. Tipped away. Paul with the steal. Pass to Musa. Over Williams. Musa can't hit. And that's an intentional foul. And an intentional foul right there. First free throw is good, and that puts them up by 5.
Well, Jeff Teague is a very capable scorer from the lead guard position. He plays with a high motor. He can make shots. This guy is very good at the point.
And he just garnered a little bit more insurance there. Very confident as he's able to go up and knock those down.
Toronto calls timeout. They're down by 6. There's 31 seconds left in the first overtime. What do you think, guys?
And they're going to have to score. Quick foul. Can't waste any time here.
Right, that's the game plan. It's got to be executed perfectly. No time to waste.
Rejected by Teague.
Wow, how about the superb extension on the block from Jeff Teague? He just reads his man perfectly, Kevin.
And now we've got the intentional foul.
No choice but to foul there, but he's probably the last guy you want to see on the line.
So he gets them both, and it's an 8-point game. Toronto calls timeout. They're trailing by 8. There's 21 seconds left in the first overtime. Action has been terrific. Guys, what's your take?
And just trying to salvage anything at this point, even if it's just some momentum heading into the next one.
No, I think you're exactly right, Greg. You've got to take any positive you can get. You'd like to see them come together and build something, even if it's in a loss.
And here's Matthews from the arc. It's good. Oh, and that cuts the lead to just 5.
I'll tell you, in close games, Matthews, the guy they turn to, he loves taking these big shots.
And no good is the first free throw missing for him. We'll see if he can nail the second. And he misses the second one as well, so he is 0 for 2 that time. Musa passes to Paul. And the 3 off target. And now they decide to foul intentionally. Good on the first, and that increases their lead to 6.
And Williams is sort of the classic instant offense guy. Whether he's coming off the bench or starting, he can provide a spark whenever they need one.
The pass to Musa, and he lobs it up toward the rim, and that's out of bounds. Toronto will retain possession.
And defensively, great anticipation, making a play there on the ball.
Well, superb awareness, Greg, right? Not allowing them to get comfortable running their offense, being super aggressive.
And so it's San Antonio. David, thank you as always. And that's going to do it tonight, folks.